I don't need meat from a fake mom. Send something more useful. Alana's words pierce my heart. She's right, I'm not her real mother. But I've poured my love into this role. Now, I send meat every month to help my 4 grandchildren grow. I knew I wasn't thanked, but that was harsh. All right, I'm counting on you, my kind mom. Alana hangs up the phone cheerfully, hoping for something more useful than meat. Alana's spoiled voice gives me goosebumps. Kind mom, huh? After all her talk about me being an outsider, she shouldn't play the daughter card only when it suits her. I'm done being the fake mom. Now, what's more useful than meat? Right, there's only one thing. I'm Jeanette, 53 years old. I'm welcoming a lively new year again. Usually, it's just my husband Jeffrey and me in our quiet house, but it becomes a precious day when our daughter and her family come to visit. Our only daughter, Alana, is 32 and has 4 children. The oldest is 13, followed by 9, 7, and 6. They're all adorable girls. When Alana was about to graduate from high school, she said, "I'm pregnant." I was worried about what would happen. She didn't go on to junior college as planned, but instead got married and had a baby. Jeffrey had mixed feelings about Alana marrying young. But Alana's words eased Jeffrey's mind. "I fell in love with someone as kind as you, Dad. I'm still a kid myself, so I don't know how to raise one. Dad, Mom, you'll help me, right?" No parent wants to abandon their child. We did our best to support her after the birth. And now, Alana's 4 children have grown into well-mannered, gentle kids, and when we give them pocket money, "Thank you, Grandpa and Grandma," they all say thank you in unison with smiles. "Now, Mom will take care of your precious allowance so you don't lose it." The children, quickly relieved of their allowance, looked a bit sad. Alana's husband, Gil, is 5 years older than her. He felt unreliable when they first got married, having just started his job, but now he's a respectable working adult. I have to take a plane to see them now. Leaving Alana and the kids in their hometown, Gil has been transferring alone across Japan. That's right. It's lonely since I can only see Gil 2 or 3 times a year. Alana leans on Gil's shoulder. Despite being in front of parents and children, she's a bit bold, maybe because of the alcohol. You say that, but you probably think it's easier when I'm not around, right? No way! I want to be with my beloved Gil all the time. I hope your next transfer is close by. Alana, you're still as cute as ever. Their affection for each other is so evident it's almost embarrassing. But for the first 3 years of marriage, there was always tension in the air. I'm going to divorce him. Alana coming back to her house saying this wasn't just once or twice. They used to fight over trivial things, but their relationship improved when Gil started working away from home. Being together all the time tends to highlight the annoying traits of the other. Being apart most of the time probably makes it easier to be kinder on the days they do meet. Thanks to that, they had 3 more children after he started working away. Now, just as the joyful New Year's time is about to end, the youngest, Jeanette, says, "I want to stay overnight at Grandma's house." She said, "Oh, that's great. Stay over. Can the kids stay by themselves now? Grandpa is on holiday too, so I can be with you." Jeffrey is happy, unlike Alana, who looks bitterly reluctant. But, Dad, you'd hate to take care of noisy kids during your precious holiday, right? We shouldn't bother you, we'll go home. It's okay, leave it to me. But Dad, you're all about work. You're not used to dealing with kids, how can you take care of them? Jeanette is giving me a look as if she's pleading. Alana, it's okay. I'll help take care of them too. Besides, they're all good kids and not much trouble. Huh? Exactly. Let the grandkids have some fun with us for a change. We hardly get to see them, and Alana, you're always caught up with taking care of the kids and work. You need some time off away from the kids. You and Gil should enjoy some quality time together, just the two of you. Ah, thank you. Alana finally agrees, but her eyes aren't smiling. It's been a while since we had a sleepover. Alana's house is just a 10-minute walk from ours, but I haven't been to her place in nearly a decade. She doesn't visit often with the kids because she's busy with work. We only see the whole family during the Oban festival and New Year's when Gil comes home from his work assignments. As I head to the bedroom to prepare the futons, excited, Alana follows me. Don't do anything unnecessary. Suddenly, she advises me from behind. Don't ask the kids about my job or what we usually eat. I don't want outsiders prying into our family life. It seems she's aware it would be troublesome if someone asked about their family situation when she's not around. I nod in agreement. Then Alana extends her right hand. A handshake? What's this about? Confused, Alana smirks. The rental fee for the kids is $100. What? That's absurd. The kids aren't objects. Oh, is that so? Then I'll take the kids back with me. I'll just say Grandma didn't want them to stay over. That taking care of them is too much hassle. That they're a nuisance. What? Don't do that. The kids would be sad, wouldn't they? They might start to dislike you. Dad might even think you're terrible. Frightened, I see Alana extend her hand again. Reluctantly, I take a $100 bill from an envelope in the dresser drawer. Huh? That's not enough. Alana takes the $100 and snatches the envelope from my hand. It's $100 per child, so that'll be $400, please. I've had plenty of kids, so I'm in luck. My dear children can't be rented out so cheaply to strangers. The emphasis on stranger stings deeply. Alana and I are, indeed, strangers. I met Jeffrey at work. He was a capable person but never involved in important projects and always left on time, which I found odd. Later, I learned he was a single father, which explained his frequent absences. Jeffrey, widowed by his first wife, was raising his elementary school-aged daughter Alana alone. I was drawn to Jeffrey's sincere and kind nature and aggressively pursued him, managing to start a relationship, though initially. He said marriage was out of the question. He wanted to prioritize his sensitive daughter during that critical time in her life. Such integrity was typical of Jeffrey. However, as our relationship progressed, Alana began to encourage the idea of marriage herself. Please become my mom. It was a joyous push from her that led us to marriage. You see, I was jealous of my friends who have moms. I'm happy to have a mom too. My mom. I love you, my very own mom. At the time, 9-year-old Alana fully embraced me with her affection. She was naturally a very friendly child. She wasn't the type to hold back her thoughts or endure quietly, and we quickly got along well enough to argue like a real mother and daughter. Once we started living together, it turned out she was far less inclined to hold back than I thought. Your homemade hamburgers are awful. I can't eat this, take me to a family restaurant. Is this what being 9 years old is like? I was taken aback by her harsh words. Alana had grown quite attached to me, so when I quit my job to become a full-time housewife and take care of her, Jeffrey was relieved and could focus on his work. But when it was just the two of us, Alana transformed from a sweet little girl into a completely different person with a tough attitude. Since it was odd to be reserved just because we weren't related by blood, I calmly asked her, Did it taste bad? What didn't you like about the hamburger? A hamburger with just ketchup is ridiculous. Oh, did you skimp because I'm a kid? It has to be like a restaurant with demi-glace sauce, not this kiddie hamburger. I can just throw this away, right? That's not right. Don't waste food. Besides, I made it with all my heart, hoping you'd like it. Alana sneered at my desperate attempt to be a mother. If I made mud pies with all my heart, would you eat them? That's hilarious. What are you saying, Alana? So, let's go to a family restaurant, Mom. Alana was scary. In the end, as usual, she would cling to me affectionately, and I would shudder. This has been the pattern for about 20 years, showing her true self only in front of me. Otherwise, Alana has always been a good girl. To Jeffrey, she has always been and will always be his cherished daughter. Because we had just become a family, because it was her rebellious phase, because it was puberty. I had always believed that Alana's attitude would eventually soften, but that day never came. There were also times when I wanted to have a child with Jeffrey. But I couldn't bring myself to think that having a sibling in this situation would be a positive thing for Alana. I told Jeffrey that having Alana as our precious child was enough, hiding my desire for more children. And now, I can't even bring myself to tell Jeffrey about Alana's true nature. We were only a happy family on the surface. So, it's out of the question for me to step into Alana's family life. But Alana's children are fond of me, so they come to play at our house 2 or 3 times a week. After school, they'd come home saying, "We're home," as if it were their own house. My eldest granddaughter, Isla, would say, "I want Grandma's hamburgers." As for the youngest granddaughter, Jeanette, "No. I definitely want steak. Now, no fighting. Let's settle this with rock, paper, scissors. If you don't play, you lose. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot." The children engage in adorable quarrels. Isla, the eldest, takes care of the younger ones. Normally, they are quiet, speak little, and are understanding children. That's just a facade. In front of their parents or others, they might be holding back or nervous, appearing very well behaved. But they show me all sorts of expressions, both happy and angry. When the child who lost at rock, paper, scissors started to cry, I said, "All right, just for today," deciding to fulfill everyone's request. Yay! The children jump for joy, laughing and saying Grandma always says, "just for today." For my adorable grandchildren, I'm willing to make things special any number of times. Grandma's food is the best. You know, Grandma Isla's hamburgers are really good too. Jeanette naturally complimented her. Despite being the 6-year-old youngest, she seems to be considerate of those around her. It's a good thing, but it also makes me a bit sad. They feel they have to be good because of their environment. Is that so? Isla is good at cooking, huh? Hee, I'm like their mom. Isla looked embarrassed. The middle schooler apparently cooks meals regularly. As for their mother, Alana, she's not here. Mom's gone today too, Jeanette said while munching on her meal. Every month, I prepare a package filled with 20 kilograms of meat, ready-to-eat meals, and snacks. It's for Alana's family. Since they live within walking distance, I'd prefer to deliver it in person. But Alana seems to avoid meeting me, and she dislikes me loitering around her place. So, I reluctantly resort to delivery services. Alana told me several times, "Don't bother with your ostentatious appeals. I have no intention of letting you see the grandchildren," and coldly pushed me away. I'm not looking for anything in return. I genuinely want to help the kids. I just want the children to have enough to eat. It might annoy Alana, but she accepts the packages because they're free. One day, unusually, Alana called me. The meat has arrived for this month. I've never received a thank you call from her. I can't help but be wary. The contents are mediocre again. The kids aren't happy with the cheap snacks from the supermarket. Maybe old people don't understand that high-end sweets would be better. As expected, it wasn't a pleasant call. It's probably Alana who wants the high-end sweets. I thought the kids would like chocolates and snacks. Of course, meals are important too, so I hope they eat plenty of meat. Huh? What do you know? I can hear Alana's snickering laughter. It's pathetic seeing an old person trying so hard to appeal. As if meat could win over the kids' affection. You're not really thinking you're their grandma, are you? I can only imagine the twisted smile on Alana's face over the phone. I don't want to picture it, but her face comes clearly to mind. Don't get it twisted. You're not a grandma. Because I'm not your daughter. We're strangers. The idea of a fake mom playing grandma is just hilarious. And then Alana made it clear. I don't need meat from a fake mom. Send something more useful. I fall silent for a moment. Then, Alana changes her tone, suddenly showing concern for my well-being. You know, Mom, you're getting on in years, right? I'd feel terrible making you carry big, heavy packages. It'd be awful if you fell and got hurt. So, from now on, just send small, light envelopes. That'd be easier for you, right? Such insincere words. No matter how difficult it is to carry, the purpose of sending meat directly is because it goes into the children's mouths. Meat is essential for the children's growth. Something more useful. A solution came to mind. Ah, I see what you mean. As I finally caught on. All right, I'm counting on you, my kind mom. Alana cheerfully ended the call. Alana's spoiled voice gives me goosebumps. Kind mom, huh? After all her talk about being strangers, I wish she wouldn't act like a daughter only when it suits her. I can't keep up this fake mom act any longer. I'm determined. The next day, the children rushed into our house. Grandma, help! Dad and Mom are fighting. I'm glad I told them to come to our house immediately in case of any trouble, so as not to involve the children in adult conflicts. Leaving the younger ones with Isla, I hurried to Alana's house alone. Their apartment isn't old, but the sound of a man and woman arguing can be heard from outside. Hesitating for a moment, I forcefully opened the front door. You! There's no partition between the entrance and the room. As soon as Alana saw me, her eyes widened with anger, and she approached menacingly. Don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong. Stick my nose? I just did what you told me to. What? Remember? You told me to send something useful. Something more useful than meat. I sent it to Gil. It seems Gil hurried back on a plane after seeing it. You've been fooling around taking advantage of my absence. What I sent was evidence of Alana's infidelity. Gil slammed photos of Alana and another man onto the floor. In the photos, Alana is leaning on the man, smiling in a way no mother would. No wonder you didn't want to follow me on my job transfers. Enjoying your time with other men like you're single. Wait, it's not like that. I only love you, Gil. I don't know anything about these photos. Aren't they edited? Fake? Gil emptied an envelope, scattering its contents. The floor was covered with photos of Alana and a man. In a cafe, at tourist spots, and even in a hotel room. Scattered around were joyful photos of Alana and the man. Some photos even showed them intimately close. Could all these numerous photos be faked? Alana, pale, froze for a moment but then desperately started gathering the photos. Why? Why do these even exist? It's natural for her to be confused. These weren't photos taken by a detective or a third party, but selfies by Alana. Such private photos wouldn't normally be seen by others. This makes no sense. Alana, unable to comprehend, twitched her face while frantically collecting the photos. Covered in photos, Alana hurled insults at me. These are from my smartphone. You must have stolen my phone. What, did you sneak into my house in the middle of the night and tamper with my phone? That's horrifying. That's like something a thief would do. It's a crime. Alana glared at me with disdain, lashing out. Indeed, the photos were from her smartphone. From my smartphone, huh? You were just claiming the photos were fake, but is this an admission of guilt? Alana stopped in her tracks, clenching her teeth in frustration. No, that's not it. Gil, you know she's not my real mom, right? I've been bullied by her since I was a kid. Even as an adult, she's still doing such terrible things, it's scary. Gil, don't believe anything this fake mom says. Trust me. She seemed to switch to a tearful plea, reaching out weakly to Gil. A real mom wouldn't do such awful things. She wouldn't lie about me cheating and corner me like this. Tears started to roll down her cheeks. I've always been suffering. Don't believe anything this mean, fake mom says. Gil, faced with a woman in tears, seemed to lose his earlier resolve. As Alana's cries filled the room. Suddenly, the front door opened. You're the fake mom. Isla entered and declared firmly, with Jeanette and the others visible behind her. Despite being told to wait at home, they couldn't stay put. Alana's crying ceased abruptly. Huh? I'm obviously your mother. Isla shook her head slightly. You might have given birth to us, but you've never acted like a mother. You were too busy with men, hardly ever home. That's what a fake mom does. Don't be cheeky. Then how have you been living? Who do you think has been taking care of you? The children all had healthy, rosy cheeks. A sign of good health, but not thanks to Alana. The one taking care of them is Isla. I almost said it without thinking. Even though Isla is just a middle schooler, she's been a great sister, taking good care of the younger ones. She's always preparing meals, and all the children help with cleaning and laundry. You're all doing great. Don't act like you know everything. I do know. Alana was unaware that the children frequently visited my home. If she knew, it would lead to complications, so naturally, I kept it a secret, and even the young children did the same. Jeffrey, mostly returning home late from work, was also oblivious. This was a secret shared only between the children and me. I wished I could have done more for them, but Alana would have outright rejected any such attempts. I couldn't risk the children being confined because of my meddling, so they would relax at my place only when Alana was not around. Upon learning the truth, Alana exploded in anger. Don't do whatever you please. That's kidnapping. You've kidnapped them. The children just couldn't say no. Don't involve them in your play acting. Mom, stop it. It was Isla who intervened. She looked sadly at Alana, her voice strained. We belonged at Grandma's place. You're the one who shouldn't act like a mother, you did nothing for us. I'm the one who found the photos on your smartphone. What? I took the photo data and gave it to Grandma. What? You betrayed me? That's terrible. Alana scorned Isla as if she were something vile. Instinctively, I slapped Alana's cheek. The worst one here is you, Alana. Alana had no right to criticize Isla, having neglected her maternal duties to enjoy affairs. Had the children not relied on me, they would have continued to suffer in silence at home. The young children, always hungry, carrying their loneliness. Alana's obliviousness to this horror filled me with disgust. Alana, holding her cheek, widened her eyes in shock. As the room fell silent for a moment, the half-opened front door creaked. Alana. Jeffrey stood there, looking as if he was about to cry. Dad? Alana, what's this about? Neglecting Isla and the others for an affair? No, it's not like that. Since there's not a single difference, no good excuse comes to mind. Alana, faltering, was approached by Jeffrey with determined steps. Alana. Dad, it's not like that. Mom's just lying. Alana clung to Jeffrey like a child. No, you're on my side, right? Dad, believe me. Don't be fooled by Mom. To Jeffrey, Alana was his only beloved and gentle daughter. Tears streamed down her cheeks. However, Jeffrey did not wipe away Alana's tears. So you're the one who's lying. The children clung tightly to me. Alana stood alone, trembling. It was clear who was telling the truth from this scene. By the way, I was also surprised that Jeffrey appeared. It turns out, Isla had called him. She found his company's number in the handwritten phone book next to the home phone and dialed it with a pounding heart. Mom was really angry, and I was worried about Grandma. I hugged Isla tightly, amazed by her maturity despite being in middle school. I wanted to help the children, but they also acted to help me. Their bravery brought tears to my eyes. Alana, exposed by her own husband and father, collapsed weakly upon the evidence-laden floor. It was the moment the facade she had maintained for 30 years crumbled. Do you enjoy destroying other people's families? Alana muttered this resentfully, glaring at me. The one who destroyed the family was you yourself, wasn't it? Alana, crying with a flushed face, resembled a small child. Gil and Jeffrey could only stare at her silently. I ushered the children into another room, sparing them from witnessing Alana's disgrace any further. After all, she was still their mother. The children always waited for Alana's return at home. Knowing she might not come back that night, yet they never stayed at my house. This was a precaution to keep their visits from being discovered, but deep down, I felt they were still waiting for their mother. Gil, I was lonely without you. That's why I cheated. But I truly love only you, Gil. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't want to be apart from you anymore. I'll follow you on your job assignments, okay? You'll forgive me, right? Gil stepped back, frowning deeply. Impossible, that sounds fake. We're definitely getting a divorce. Then Alana pleaded with Jeffrey. Dad, if Gil leaves me, I'll be all alone. You won't abandon me, right, Dad? I was just lonely because Gil wasn't there. It's so unfair. Jeffrey clenched his teeth, no longer the sad figure he was moments ago. How long are you going to keep up this nonsense? The ones who were lonely were the children. His voice was low and heavy. Unable to hold back, I spoke up. Alone? Alana, you have your children. Don't they ever cross your mind? Even if you get divorced, you can't return to being a carefree single. Having children isn't where it ends. From the next room, behind the door, Isla's voice came through. It's okay, Grandma. Isla. So you do need me. I'm sorry. Mom loves you all. Stop it. Don't get it wrong. It would be best if you just went back to being single. We don't need you. Alana's realization of her children's presence came far too late. Now completely rejected by her children, Alana was utterly alone. Eventually, Alana and Gil decided to divorce, but they disputed over who would take the children. In this, Alana made an outrageous statement. "I won't give the children to Gil. After all, he's a stranger with no blood relation to them." It was said that Isla was indeed Gil's child, but the others were from Alana's affairs. Claiming no rights for Gil, who was a stranger to them, she insisted the children were hers. Disgusted by Alana's smugness, Gil eventually gave up on custody, but the settlement amount in the divorce was significantly increased. "How am I supposed to pay such a huge amount?" Supporting 4 children on top of a hefty divorce settlement was impossible. Thus, Jeffrey and I ended up taking the children in. "Please take good care of the children. Leave it to us. We won't let Alana set foot in our house again. Gil, feel free to visit the kids whenever. Thank you." Gil didn't abandon the children because they weren't his by blood. He knew it would be difficult for a person with frequent job transfers like himself to raise children alone, and he couldn't possibly leave them with Alana. So, he arranged for us to take care of them. Alana was overwhelmed with the settlement payments from the divorce and her own living expenses. Occasionally, she would call, wanting to see the children, but they would immediately refuse. "No. Mom, do something." "There's nothing I can do. It's the children's decision not to see you." "No, Alana fumbled for words. When I waited for her to continue, she asked about money. "Can't you do something about the money?" she asked me. I was braced for her to plead for a meeting with the children, so the question about money caught me off guard. "Money? Mom, you said over the phone you'd send money. And then you framed me, which was terrible." "I never said I'd send money." She must have been referring to the conversation about sending something useful. Alana, who always thought the world revolved around her, had simply harbored convenient expectations. "I made sure to send something useful, didn't I?" "Huh? Something valuable for my precious grandchildren." I realized that anything that causes them pain is unnecessary, even if it's their biological mother. "You're the worst. I'm your daughter too. You've destroyed your daughter's family. What a terrible mother. Give me back my children." Alana hadn't learned her lesson. I could hear her sobbing over the phone. "Let me say it again. The one who destroyed the family was you. You were the one who abandoned your children first." It seemed she clung to the children out of loneliness, hoping a reconciliation would mend things with kind-hearted Jeffrey as well. Apparently, Alana had been abandoned by her affair partner too. The relationship between Alana and her affair partner soured when Gil demanded compensation from the affair partner in the divorce settlement. It was evident that their long-standing relationship was frivolous if it could end over such a matter. Moreover, Alana had become a guarantor for the affair partner's debt, and now she was being pressured by intimidating figures to repay it. After the affair partner quickly disappeared following their fallout over the settlement, all the responsibility fell on Alana's shoulders. Before things turned sour, Alana might have thought of using the money from me to help her beloved partner out of trouble, a naive kindness she harbored during her romantic escapades. But what awaited her at the end of this love game was ruin. While Gil supported her, Alana only worked sporadic part-time jobs once or twice a month on a whim, but such casual work was no longer sufficient. Working from morning till night, and even into the wee hours, her salary was quickly consumed by the divorce settlement and debt repayments. The turmoil of the divorce and the burden of debt repayment have significantly aged Alana, who once looked relatively youthful. With her current appearance, finding a new boyfriend seemed unlikely. There's no bright future for Alana. Meanwhile, my days are filled with lively chaos. No, no, I want hamburgers. The once well-behaved children have become quite demanding. Jeanette is like a model of a temper tantrum. Now, Jeanette, didn't we have hamburgers yesterday? But Grandma's hamburgers are so delicious. Jeanette, you're so noisy. How about we go to a family restaurant, Grandma? They're loud, brazen, and quick to tears. Every day is a headache. But I'm relieved they've become children who act their age. At home, they should freely express their whims. However, not all their whims are indulged. We're not going to a family restaurant when it's not even a Sunday. Tonight, we're having stir-fried vegetables. This was met with collective groans. Oh, how I wanted to cover my ears. For dessert, we'll have Swiss rolls. This time. Yay! The children jumped for joy. The floor seemed like it might give way, which was nerve-wracking. Despite the trouble, I deeply cherish these children.